Do you feel the vibes?
G'day guys, Fred Omagic here from Omagic's Kitchen, and today I thought we'd look at doing a couple of little entrees actually. So we're going to do two entrees because they're pretty simple. One of them's simple, one of them's a bit more involved. And what they are, we've got some beautiful oysters here, and I just picked up a half dozen this morning. And also, moving on to the second entree that we're doing today is we're going to do some pumpkin soup. And you might have seen this pumpkin in one of our previous episodes where I said that we will be making soup out of that later. I've already been using some of this pumpkin already. I've cut some of these sides off and I've been eating it. And with the rest of it left over, I'm going to make a soup out of the rest of it. So we're going to show you how to do that as well. And so we're going to start that. So the first thing we've got to do is in fact cut this down. So we'll start to cut this down there. It's really hard, this one. It's actually very hard. So this knife just won't cut it. Oh, right. So I think we'd go outside. Sometimes if it's that hard you can actually use a tomahawk. So I'm going to go and do that outside. Look, I'm out here now. I've got my tomahawk and I'm just going to chop that straight through there. Just like that. That's to just start the break. We'll put that back. That's all we need to do out here. Okay, so we're back in the kitchen. Now, because I've used a tomahawk from outside, we just need to give this a little rinse up. So make sure from that initial cut. And this one I'll just rinse as well. And now I can proceed to cut these on the board here. Because it's a smaller piece, it will now cut into several pieces. So we're going to cheat a little bit here, by the way. You've seen me use the microwave before, and we're going to do that again because it'll speed the process up. So we're not cooking totally in the microwave, we're just going to speed the process up by using the microwave to our advantage first. That's fine. Look at all those beautiful seeds. We'll save those and we'll plant those again. Okay, unlike a supermarket variety, these seeds will grow. Although the supermarket seeds will grow too, but you will find you only get so many fruit. So they've hybrided that on purpose. These ones I understand are heirloom from my good friend Hennick, and he would be ashamed if I was to chuck these in the bin. I need to grow these for next season. That's enough really. Right, now that's all going to be. We'll save that, like I said, we'll plant those later. We'll dry them out first. Now, so what we've got to do now is prepare these on a plate, like that. And we're just going to, these are going into the microwave. And we need now for some potato. So, cut off any bits that are not desirable, like that. Not much left of that potato. Now, look, that's enough. Into the microwave, a little bit of potato. Now I've got leek here as well. The leek doesn't have to go into the microwave because that will cook pretty quickly by itself. So what we're going to do now is put these in the microwave and speed things up. Probably want about 10 minutes or 5 to 10 minutes. And I'm also going to put a little bit of water in there to help with the contact. You don't need more than, for my cooking, only 3 or 4 minutes in the microwave. We're not cooking a whole meal in the microwave. I wouldn't like to do that. But for cheating, a couple of minutes. So just push a few times. Now, so what we're going to do now is move on to the next bit. That's going to just continue on like that for a little while. We'll start our oysters now. So we'll get back to that in a moment. Now, so our oysters, the first thing you've got to do with oysters is rinse them. So we need to come over to the tap, and we can show you the correct way to rinse these is, in my opinion, to have the water running. Always rinse the back first. They're not going to fall out, even though they've been shucked already. They're stuck in there just by their own, they resettle and become stuck again, but you will move that in a minute, I'll show you that. But always start upside down. That gets any grit off here, falls off the side of the shell, away from the meat inside. So we rinse the top first, Now the bottom part, just put your finger in and move it, make it turn around. So you're going to turning it around, so upside down, make sure it's completely not stuck anywhere. This one's moving beautifully, and they should start to roll around, actually, if you do this properly. And the other thing you need to do is smell them. Beautiful. Now, these were fresh bought this morning. I think I was their first customer. I was down there at 9:10. And this is from our local fish supply. So you can't get much fresher than that. So we've got one done there. Now, before I go any further, I need to show you how to prepare something to sit them on. Now, I like to use a tray like this. So it's got little dimples, and that's going to help them sit. But I'm also going to use a piece of foil. And with the foil paper, I'm going to make sort of like waves, and the oysters will sit in the waves. So you need to fold back and forwards like this. You can see what I'm doing? It's like being at school. Kids, play school. And back and forwards, and then we pull it back out, and we've made 1, 2, or 3. We only need 2 runs. So this one here will just waste. Fold that up like that. So we need 2 runs like that. So whack that on here, like that. And I'll bring it over and show you. Now you can see what I've got here. These are the walls that are going to hold the oysters nice and steady. So I'm going to continue over here and rinse these up. Okay, so we've just washed up all these oysters. Now I'm going to show you how to place them in our little cradle here that we're making, right, with our silver paper, around there like that. Put the ends in, because we're going to go in a little oven over. We've turned the oven on already. We're going to use a little toaster oven over here to cook these, which is fine. It is electric, but it has got a thermostat. Putting these in a little long line like that, you'll notice that they sit beautifully in the foil. They're not moving around. A lot of the problem you have here is if you haven't got a sort of a special system that you put your oysters in, they don't sit. And when you fill them up with stuff, which we're going to do in a second, you know, the juices are falling out because one's fallen over. Now this system with the foil is brilliant, which is what I've worked out myself. Now see how they're all sitting there lovely? They won't move now, so we're ready to go for the next part, which is we need some bacon. I haven't got my scissors. We'll use a knife this time. Like that. Bring out. Now I usually like to use the big flat part. This part here. Mainly because there's less fat. You could use the other side if you had to, if you wanted to. If you want more fat, which will normally have a lot of fat, but in this case we're going to use these. We need 2 pieces of the muscle part. Pull that out and put that back in. I've torn off the fat as well. I'll leave that there. That could be flavour for another dish, so I won't just chuck that out. With these, we're making, what we're going to do is cut little triangles. So let's just cut that off so it's nice. And little triangles like this. So we've got 3 triangles here. They fit in there. Put the pointy end of the triangle towards the nose of the oyster. There. Do it again. Cut the daggy bits off. Make it all nice. So what we've got there is our oysters with our bits of bacon on top now. Next part is some cream cheese. Okay, now you can use the white one, or this is the solid cream cheese. This is the best one you can get as far as I'm concerned. Most flavour in this one. The other one is more of a light. So we're just getting some cream cheese here, and we're wiping it on top of the bacon. Just a little bit of a point there. Now, the reason why we're doing this, there's 2 reasons for this. Cream cheese in these tastes really nice, and 2, we need something to stick the next ingredient, which is mushroom. Okay? Take a mushroom and slice straight through. Then we need 6 slices. Okay? So arrange your slices that you've got 6, so depending on the size of your mushroom, be the size of your slices. If you've got a real big mushroom, you probably only use half of it, right? You don't want to overpower the whole thing. The little slices go on like that. Now, I've just noticed that I've missed one. There's no cream cheese on that one. So I'll get some on there. Duh. You missed one. There you go. God, the guy can't count properly. Okay, put that on there. Now, the next bit, herbs and spices, which I've got over here. Mixed herbs, okay, that's all, just mixed herbs. You've seen me use this before, it's the same one, almost used from everything I do. Because I've just found that it just flavours everything beautifully without having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 little bowls of herbs and spices that you do see on some other cooking shows. Who can remember all those things to put in? You don't, you just use one tub, it's all done. Pepper and salt, okay, there. And salt. Now, plenty of salt, because everyone knows seafood and salt goes together. Okay? And that is ready pretty much almost for the oven, but we're just going to put a bit of soy sauce. Now, I use soy sauce, not Worcestershire sauce. So that means we can't call these Oysters Kilpatrick. We're going to call these Oysters Kilomeara. I bet you like that one. How about Omagic oysters? Now, we've called these Oysters Kilomeara. Okay? Okay, into the oven they go. Just so you can have a look before I put them in. That's what they're going to look like. They're going to about 10 minutes in the oven and they'll be ready to eat. So we're really just warming them up to a point where they're just starting to sizzle and they're ready to eat. So like normal seafood, you don't cook right through. You're only just warming in there, just fits in there beautifully. We'll get back to those in about 10 minutes. In the meantime, we're going to get back to our pumpkin soup. Remember, we've got pumpkin soup going as well, and we're going to get on with that. So let's go and see what's going on with that. We've got these that are in the microwave. Simply put a little bit of water in the bottom of your pan, just to start you. Now I have to cut these bits out of the skin. Now, if you were to do this before we cooked them, pre-cooked them, it's going to be very hard. But now, it's really, really easy because they're soft and the skin will come away pretty quickly. Okay, so we'll chop them up a little bit and into the pot. Okay, let's bring the pot down here. There's going to be some scraps there. Move that away a bit. Don't need that now. And we'll do these. Put that in there, give it a bit of a slice up in the pot. Get those pieces down a bit smaller. Okay, so we want to start getting this on the cook straight away. Up there. Start the gas. I'm still going to put my onion in. And I'm going to be using a leek. So rinse your leeks first. And rinse again in a minute. I'm going to undo that in the middle. That piece just came off. Believe it or not, you wouldn't believe it, but there is bits of dirt in the leek. Same as silver beet, same as your oysters. We saw us rinse those before. Bits of shell in your oysters is not acceptable, and bits of dirt in your other vegetables is not acceptable either. That is due to a slack chef, if you get that. Now this is the last of this leek, which I've already used for several dishes, and we're wasting nothing here. So in it goes. So I'm using up a lot of the food in the fridge here, and we're going to make a beautiful soup. I need a little bit of water in there, a bit more, about half a cup of water, and we need to reduce that down. So whilst that's getting reduced, herbs and spices again, exactly the same. In there, and pepper and salt. So we can use these. Okay. And what we'll do now is we're just waiting for those to go. We're waiting for our oysters. I think there's a little time here to take a little break, and we'll come back and we'll put it all together. Right, okay guys, we're back. We've had things cooking along here for a while. The oysters are ready. We're just letting them sit and warming there for a moment, and we're going to continue on with our pumpkin soup, remember. I'm going to show you something here. We haven't got a blender or a Vitamals or anything like that, so if you haven't got one, as you know, we don't own one. We do everything by hand. So I'm going to show you how we use a spatula to chop. Just move the pot around and chop. Chop all it's got to be very small pieces. Chopping, 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 and then just pushing it around. Mash as a masher as well. Mash it, right? Cooking, chopping and chopping. And at this point, we need a bit more water. So while we're speaking of water, we use cold water. Okay, and I know that slows the cooking down, but you can't use hot water. You could use hot water to the kettle, which I haven't boiled, so straight out cold water. The reason for that is in the hot water is copper. Most hot water services will have copper in it. We don't want copper in our cooking. That's too much copper. We'll just go back here. We're going to get this going now. I'm going to put some cream in here in a minute. And I think we need a little bit of butter here as well. Right, now, I just need to go to the fridge and get some butter, which is just here. So I should have had it out before and I didn't. Okay, get butter, about a tablespoon as well. Now, this could have went in before. That's about a tablespoon, that thick. Put that in. You can put that in at any time. And we'll get that going in there. And that's just going to help it get a bit silky. And, of course, butter, proper butter, real butter, will make it taste better. And I know it's got lots of fat and stuff in it. But, like Richo, I'm here to make the food taste good. I don't care how long you live for. Okay, so we've come to the point now where we need to have a look at putting some cream in. And cream, look, a lot of pumpkin soups ask for a lot of cream, and I don't think that's totally right. I reckon about a quarter of a cup, not too much, because we're going to put some more on when we serve. So I'm just going to pour in you can see by how much is left. That's about a quarter of a cup, maybe a bit more, that's all. Not the whole cup, like some recipes ask for. But this is a smaller pot as well, so I'm pretty sure if you were doing a big pot for 4 or 5 people, maybe you'd have a whole cup of cream. But I'm only putting about a quarter or half a cup in there, and also my pot's pretty full now. So now really I'm just going to stir this up a little bit and we're going to serve up in a moment, right? Okay guys, now we're just back here, we're testing the flavour now of our pumpkin soup. So I need to do a taste test because it's almost ready. Watch you don't burn yourself when you do this. Okay, so all it needs is a bit more pepper and salt. So I'm just going to use these because it's nice and quick. And that's ready to go. Okay, stir that in. Now I think at this point what we'll do is bring the oysters out because we're ready to serve up now. And I'll turn this off. These have been sitting here for a little while. Use a tea towel because oven mitts are too thick, you won't be able to grab it, so just use a tea towel. Don't use your bare hands, you'll get burnt. Pull those out. Oh, look at that. They're going to be very, very nice. So we've got our mushroom, and we've got our bacon, and our cream cheese is melted through, the soy sauce, and our herbs and spices. Our cameraman doesn't like oysters, but I know that if he had one of these, he would like these ones. But I don't think I'll be able to convince him. He'll probably have the soup. He's smiling over there, he's laughing. Okay, the soup's ready. Get on with the soup. Now remember, this is a dish for 2 different sorts of people. We've got oysters for people that like oysters, and not everyone likes oysters. It's probably about 50% of the community. So the other 50% we've catered for and made our beautiful homemade pumpkin soup. Pour it out on the bowl. Now it's still a bit chunky, but that's fine. Okay. And we'll just finish that off with a little bit of cream on top. Just like that. There we go. And there we have our pumpkin and potato with a little bit of leek soup. with our Oysters Kilomeara in the background, for those of us that like a little bit of seafood. Absolutely brilliant, that. I can't wait to get into those oysters. I'm not too worried about the soup. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time on Omagic's Kitchen. See ya.